Between the neglect, dealing with a narcissistic parent, that kind of childhood trauma, I think sometimes verbal and emotional abuse is actually worse than physical. Not that I haven't sustained all of them, but I think most people who have been through both could say that mental, spiritual abuse, things like that are often worse. So I experienced that stuff as a child. And I was actually taken away from my mother. I experienced raising kids at too young of an age, so it kind of put me in a mindset to where I didn't really have time to be a kid. So that was a part of that as well. So all of that, kind of segues. You carry that into your adulthood, and then everything you experience from that point on, your childhood sets the tone. So that's where it all started.
Okay.
So when it comes to the father, I did not have one. And that kind of segues into one of my other traumas, which is colorism. I did not know that I was mixed. And so my biological father, who is white, he wasn't around, he did not exist. But once I was aware of that, I was always taught that they hate me because I'm Black. So that led to even a deeper hatred for not just my father, but that whole side of the family.
Wow.
So that's the father situation. It was beyond just fatherless. It was, dang, I hate that whole race of people because they hate me. So
have you met any of your family on your father's side?
I have now. I have, and I've actually developed somewhat of a relationship with them. It's not what it would have been nice to have, family like that, but it's not what I would like it to be because it just never was there. So now I guess as an adult, it just doesn't seem as important. So it's not that they're not trying at this point. It's just like out of sight, out of mind, so I don't have bad blood with them. I just don't have a relationship with them. Yeah, I was told that they're white and they hate me because I'm Black. That was what I was told. So that was what I grew up knowing and accepting that reality. But then when I got older and started finding out for myself and realizing, oh, okay, these people do want to be a part of my life. They did attempt to be a part of my life. Then it was like, okay, well, let me see what they're talking about now. So I had to change my whole mindset because I went from, I hate this whole race of people to, maybe I'm wrong. And then, so it took years to change that whole mindset. I remember in college, I was like, when white people would come into the room, it was so bad that I'd be with all my friends who were all Black or some other race, and they'd come into the room and I'd be like, I'd growl, basically. I'd like snarl practically and get up out. Like I did not even want to be there anymore. It was that bad. And my friends would laugh at me. They're like, how you hate white people this much? And you can blend right in with them. But they didn't understand, like I really couldn't. I experienced another piece of my childhood trauma was going from a all Black school. It was like one white person in the whole school and it wasn't me. So going from that and then being placed in a white school where I'm the Blackest person in here now, and they hate me. So it was a whole shift at that point, and I realized, yeah, I hate them too. That's where my mind was because of my atmosphere and where I was placed. So in college, I had to make that adjustment to say, I don't really hate all people, and all people aren't really the same, but, undoing a whole lifetime of what I thought I knew. Now that I know both sides a little bit better, I can't say that they weren't racist. I would say that it's just something that's embedded in them. And they can't help it. Even if they, as the generations go on and they're trying not to be, it's still something it's a generational curse, just like what we have on either side of the family. So there was times, I'll give you an example to explain what I'm trying to say here. So when I brought it to my grandmother on my dad's side, so his mother, we built a relationship and I brought it to her attention. This is why I never liked you, because I was told you hate me because I'm Black, and these are the things that I was told. So we had that conversation, and one of her responses was, I'm not racist. I have several Black friends. I'm like, let me explain to you how racist that sounds now. Now I got to break this down for you. So, it's something that I get it. She was trying, especially towards the end of her life, to be different because times are changing. But it's still where you come from, so it would still always be that awkwardness there. And that's why when I say, like, as much as I'd like a relationship, when conversations are had, it's kind of just like crickets chirping. What do we even talk about? We have nothing in common. There is really nothing. You can't give me advice. I don't, look up to you. Like, there's nothing there. For me, there's nothing there. So it's like, well, these are just some people that helped create me, and I'm thankful for them. That's pretty much where it ends at that point. So, yeah.
Are you working on your kids having a relationship?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I did, especially towards the end. So that grandmother has passed on, and towards the end of her life especially, I started bringing the kids around her because I realized that was part of my problem. I didn't understand where I came from or all the parts of me. And so I wanted them to get and understand and just be accepting and loving of all people. Everything that I do when it comes to raising my children is to make, like, everything that I felt like was wrong for me or that made bad qualities in myself, I try to fix them in my own kids, and that's one of them. So I did get them to meet. They've met that side of the family. They know the story behind it. I tell them the truth about this is how I felt about them, and this is why, and these things. And so they're able to come to their own conclusion of how they feel about people based on the truth from all sides.